we reported earlier, President Joe Biden signed the Inflation Reduction Act into law this afternoon. However, many economists are skeptical that the law will actually help to bring down the record high inflation that Americans are facing. And joining us now to discuss is Tom Bevan, co-founder and president of Real Clear Politics. Tom, welcome back. Always great to see you. First off, your thoughts on the Inflation Reduction Act and how it will help or hurt the American people.
Well, I think there's a lot we're going to have to find out. I mean, obviously, the Democrats are touting the investments that this is making in the environment. They are touting the prescription drug cost, lowering of prescription drugs and the like. And Republicans are pointing out that this is also going to be adding 80,000 IRS agents in the future, and that the bill, as you mentioned, will do, a lot of economists say it will do actually nothing to actually lower inflation. So I think there's a lot about this bill that remains to be seen, whether it's going to be helpful or harmful to the American public. As a political matter, it's a good day for Joe Biden. It shows that his government can actually do something, get something done. Democrats need something to take to voters this fall with only 90 days until the election. And so they have something they can tout now. Whether it ends up being a net positive in the long run remains to be seen.
Yeah, and one thing I want to get to, too, is also the primaries. I know you have your eyes on that. And Representative Liz Cheney, she's facing some fierce competition in her primary in Wyoming by Trump-backed challenger Harriet Hagman. How much, if at all, do you think Cheney's distaste, we'll call it, for the former president, including her voting to impeach him and heading up the January 6th committee, how much do you think that'll play into this primary?
Oh, I mean, it's the entire ballgame. I mean, she won her last race by about 40 points. She's probably going to lose today by about the same margin. And obviously, Wyoming's a very red state. A lot of Trump supporters there, and Liz Cheney has made it her mission to, as she has openly said, to keep this president, keep President Trump, former President Trump, away from the Oval Office. She's made it her personal mission. And so as a result, she's been, censured, kicked out of the Republican Party in Wyoming. And she is now on track to lose greatly. And we'll see what she does after that, if there's any, what she will do beyond politics. But her political career is going to end today in Wyoming.
Yeah, another big race to watch is in Alaska. Senator Lisa Murkowski, who also voted to impeach the former president. Can you tell us a little bit more about this primary, that is? I know it's being conducted a little bit differently than in other states.
Right. So Alaska is using ranked choice voting for the first time, which critics say, including Sarah Palin, who's on the ballot today, is confusing to voters and going to create a mess. We'll find out. But basically, Alaskans are going to go to the polls and they are going to rank the candidates in their choice from first through fourth or fifth or however many candidates are on the ballot. And those candidates will move on. Unless someone wins 50% of the vote, those candidates are going to move on to a general election where they're going to find out, one candidate will be eliminated through each round of voting until one person is left that gets more than 50%. So Lisa Murkowski is going to easily clear that bar in this vote, as will her opponent, Kelly Tshibaka. She's backed by Donald Trump. So we'll set up a real showdown in the fall. And we'll see what happens with the House seat that Sarah Palin is running for. There are 3 candidates in that race that will all get a decent amount of votes, and we'll have to see who ends up on the outside of that race.
Yeah, Tom, another thing I want to talk about on a different note here, the Justice Department and Attorney General Merrick Garland have faced backlash over the FBI raid of Mar-a-Lago, as you know, especially since the DOJ doesn't want to unseal the affidavit that shows probable cause for this unprecedented action. Your reaction to that, and do you think that our institutions are becoming too politicized?
Well, I do. My personal opinion is that they are, and it continues to get worse. I think this decision by Merrick Garland, I mean, whether you agree with the fundamentals of it or not, there's no question that the way that they went about taking this step was going to undermine the trust in this institution, given that this is an unprecedented thing. It's never been done before, and here it's being done to former President Trump, who is already seen by at least half the population to have been persecuted by elements within the government. And so I think it's unfortunate. I think it will continue, and I do think that this requires an unprecedented level of transparency, and that not only should that as the the warrant was revealed, but the affidavit needs to be released as well. The American people need to see exactly what went into this decision-making process. What Merrick Garland did the other day, his statement that he gave, 4 minutes, giving really no answers to this other than he personally approved this raid, that's not good enough.
And Tom, before I let you go, what else are you following?
Well, I mean, this is the biggest story, the one we just mentioned, and there's going to be a hearing tomorrow by a judge as whether they will unseal this affidavit. I mean, the consequences of this raid at Mar-a-Lago will have huge implications, I think, for not only just 2022, but 2024. It is galvanizing voters around President Trump, even those who probably didn't want him to run for president in 2024. And so as this story plays out, I'm going to be watching this very carefully and watching how it's moving public opinion, both in the short term for 2022 and in the longer term for 2024.
Yeah, it really is the big story right now. Tom, thanks so much for weighing in. Appreciate it, as always.
Absolutely. Thank you.